Hello Beasts, again another episode. So the first thing that we are going to do is that our guest Carolina,
hi,
she's going to leave her mark in a board. Now let's see what color she's going to pick.
I think I'm gonna go with this one. Okay. And then do I just like put a little bit on here,
okay,
or how do
blue.
I just go like this? Is
yeah.
That okay. Ooh.
Just
okay.
You can leave your stroke. It's just to leave your mark there.
Do you think that's enough? Is that good?
Whatever you want.
Okay, we'll see what happens.
How much do you want?
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Okay. Why did you choose this color? It's your favorite one?
I really like blues and greens. My favorite green would probably be like a darker green, and I wanted to pick a different color that wasn't here yet.
Okay.
It kind of looks like, I don't know, like a little wave maybe in the ocean. I don't know, kind of fun. So.
Okay.
Yes.
So, thank you very much.
Of course.
Carolina, and let's stay with us in the talk.
Yes.
Okay. Hello again, Beasts. We are, you guys are at this new episode in the channel. So today we have our guest Carolina.
Hey.
So Carolina is going to introduce herself. And before she introduces herself, we have in this channel one, how can I say, one slogan. Or motto.
Okay.
Motto,
yeah, like
motto,
a motto.
okay. So it's expanding by sharing.
Okay.
You expand by sharing.
Ooh,
so today
very nice.
you are going to spend by sharing your experiences, motivations, all your life. So
nice.
Let's start the talk. And can you introduce yourself? Say your name again. What you are studying, or where are you from?
Perfect.
And if you are single, married. So guys.
Okay. Hello guys, my name is Carolina Smith and I am a senior animal science major over at Andrews University. I'm pre-vet, so I will be applying to vet school for this next cycle. So hopefully I'll get in, but I'm just gonna keep applying until I get in. It's been my dream since I was like 8 years old. I love animals, so I'm originally from Tennessee, so being up north in Michigan, it's a lot colder up here. I'm used to like the warmer weather, but yeah, I am currently single, so anybody out there. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Oh my goodness, but yeah.
My number is
my number, my Instagram. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, and so. You are from Tennessee, and you are here from 4 years?
Yep, this is my 4th year at Andrews. Yes.
Okay, so I always ask the guests their favorite phrase.
Okay.
So can you say
like
your
my favorite
quote?
So one of my favorite movies is Perks of Being a Wallflower, and one of the quotes from that one, it says, "We accept the love that we think we deserve." And it makes, more sense when you watch the movie. I think it's a very good movie, a very inspirational movie.
Can you say again the name of the movie?
Perks of Being a Wallflower.
I think
it's an older movie, I think. I would recommend it. It's very good. Okay. It's a story about like a coming of age story of like this kid trying to fit in, and he finds new friends, and it's kind of hard for him to make friends, and he has some other things going in his life. So it's really encouraging for like people who are like shy or more introverted, and just shows kind of like his journey through finding people and finding himself. So very good movie. I would recommend. But yeah, I really like that line because it's like, it's just really important to know that, like, again, we accept the love that we think we deserve, and sometimes like we can put up with things for too long for people who may be mistreating us or who, aren't good for us, because it's like, oh, well, like if you have a low self-esteem or you're not confident in yourself, you're like, well, that's just what I deserve. But once you realize that like you're worth more than that, and you deserve more, and you deserve to be respected and treated better, then that's when you can find like real friendship and real love that's going to be worthwhile. So that's something that I've kind of learned through my life, through some of the more negative experiences I've had. So that's why that quote really resonates with me, I would say.
So this phrase helped you in those negative
situations. Yes.
Can you tell me
Sure.
about these situations?
Sure,
How
yeah.
how this quote helped
Yeah.
you?
Yeah. Okay. So the movie itself, I watched it kind of after I'd gone through some things. I've gone through a lot of, like a lot of people have, like a lot of friendships in my life that haven't worked out, or like relationships. And I watched this movie for the first time a couple years ago, maybe a good like 2-3 years ago. And I really related to the main character in some of the ways, just how he like, it took a while for him to find himself and to like find friends and be accepted. And I feel like especially in high school, I was very shy and I wasn't very confident in myself. And so just hearing that quote and saying like, we accept the love we think we deserve, I think that you can't really like be ready for a relationship or even friendship, even just like a platonic friendship, unless like you are confident in yourself and you love yourself enough to be like, hey, these other people should love me because this is what I bring to the table. I can love them and they can like love me because we both have things to bring to the table,
Yeah,
and I feel like
Mm-hmm.
it took me a while to find that confidence, and that's part of the reason why I love the gym, is because the gym for me gave me a lot of confidence,
yeah,
and it gave me like something to work towards that wasn't just school. Introduced me to some really great people in my life, and it just helped me become a better person. Now the gym is like probably my favorite hobby. It's basically all I do except for school, It's just a really important part of my life. So I guess like finding that confidence is important, because then it lets you accept the love that you deserve, because you're like, hey, I did this thing, I built myself, I worked on myself, and now I deserve to have a relationship with other people that can like respect me and bring that same thing to the table. So I guess the negative situations I've been through, if it's just like friendships that haven't worked out, or just like, going through like mental health issues in school or things like that, that's why that quote really, I think about that, and it reminds me to just know that like I deserve better, and it's just an important thing to be respected.
So about the mental issues in school,
Yes.
because we know that a lot of in high school too, and now in your universities, we are getting like depressed
Right.
with a lot of anxiety.
Yeah.
Why do you think this happened?
That's a good point, because it's like, it seems like, the more people you talk to, the more people are like, oh yeah, everyone's going through something. Mental health, again, it's a huge crisis, like you were saying. And I guess it really depends on like the people, like if you have like past traumas in your life, or like past things that can like kind of be those triggers for you. But also I think, having social media, I don't think has helped. I think social media can be a way to like connect with others and be really beneficial, but it can also be used as a kind of like a weapon and not as good of a thing. I know for me, social media has definitely shortened my attention span, because I like to just keep scrolling and like watching funny videos and stuff, so that is not necessarily good. And then you can kind of like find yourself like comparing yourself to others through social media, which I definitely done sometimes, or if I have like past friendships or something that like I'll keep checking back on people, and I just finally need to be like no, like I just need to like move on and just be clear of that type of thing. So I don't know, but I guess it really depends on like the person, the mental health issues. But
back then in your high school, what issues do you needed to
work through? So I've always been a little bit anxious. Like I struggle with a little bit of social anxiety. It's never been like super bad. I went to counseling actually last year for the first time, just like through like the school's free counseling center.
Did you like it?
I did, yeah. It was really helpful.
People, they say it's not. Yeah, or depends.
It definitely, like, I really liked my counselor. I thought she was very nice, and I think their method is kind of just like giving you tools to be able to work through some of your problems. Like, not obviously like you can't really be like fixed. It may be something that like you go through, not that you need to be fixed, but like it's like, I feel like especially the social anxiety, something I'm gonna deal with my whole life. But now that I've kind of like have some of those tools, I can be like, okay, if I'm feeling this way and these things are not going the best, I can know, hey, I can try this or think this way, or just like, train my mind to like work in a different way or see different things and slowly work on making it better. Because I know, at least like for me, like that little bit of social anxiety, a lot of times, I mean, probably most of the time, it's like, no, like sometimes you'll think like, okay, like this person doesn't like me, or like I'm not accepted here, I'm not wanted here. But really, no one's thinking that, and it's just your brain lying to yourself. It's like your brain can almost be your worst enemy sometimes, at least for me.
I agree.
So that just
really
kind of
agree.
being able to recognize that and say like, hey, like take a step back and just like know what's going on, and know that like, you know, think like people are nicer than you think, and just not to be so like focused on like what am I doing wrong, and instead focus on like, hey, like what am I doing right, what do I like bring to the table, things like that. But yeah, it definitely like it's a struggle, and I definitely like I have obviously like I'm not like 100% like, oh, I can go out in public and like be totally fine now, but I feel like now going to counseling definitely helped me kind of, I guess the most important thing is just recognize some of those things about myself and be self-aware. And then I think the biggest thing I learned was like dealing with my emotions, and like learn to like really sit with my emotions and feel them. Because for me, I like to like be really busy with school, or really busy with work or other things, and kind of like ignore my emotions. That's why I love the gym too, because I can go to the gym, kind of ignore my emotions, ignore my problems. And then it kind of takes me a while to like process what I'm feeling. And then I realized, I learned from counseling through some of the things that my counselor said, that like, you know, I just need to like sit with my emotions and be able to like think about them and recognize what I'm feeling and feel it and really like sit with it, not just ignore it or try to fix it. I like to be logical and try to like use logic to like try to fix my emotions, and that's not always the best option. It's better to just feel it for a second, like be sad or be angry, feel it, and then move on later, not ignore it.
And not victimize yourself.
Yes, true. That's very true.
Just feel it.
Yes.
Not how can I say reprint? No, I think. Well, not. You need to move on.
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
yes. Not just like sit and be like angry forever, obviously. But if you want to move on, you have to feel it first and sit with it for a second, you know. And yeah, not blame other people or be like, oh, I'm the victim. Just be like,
And
hey.
how you move on? How it works?
Like, how do I move on? Or, I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends on the situation for sure. But I think for most of the time, once I can, like, if I'm really sad about something or I'm letting go of something, if I can, like, instead of focusing like, okay, why am I feeling sad? How can I fix it? The more I focus on just like, okay, like I am sad. This sucks. What just happened, you know? And I need to like, just know that like I'm going to get through it, you know? Like I may be sad right now, but once I feel it and just take time to like really process it, or just like, again, just sit with it. That's the most important thing I learned. Then one day, like, you're not feeling sad anymore. You're not feeling angry anymore, you know? And obviously, if it's like you're really struggling with something, you need to get help or like go to a counselor, like maybe get medication, anything like that. Like, it's not like I can just like think and then I'll be better one day. Like, it's not a perfect situation for everyone, you know? But for me, for like things that are like maybe more minor, once I like take some time to feel it for a while, like,
do you think that you use your emotions like for motivation? Like going to the gym?
True.
Or I don't know how.
I definitely like, I feel like I do use my emotions in the gym. Like when I was kind of like, if I'm really stressed about school or feeling really anxious about something, going to the gym really helps. It's definitely a big motivator to use my emotions, which is good. It can be a good thing. If I'm going to the gym and just ignoring my emotions all the time, it's not good. But it's nice to have it used as a little break, just to have a time to like clear my head for 1 hour, 2 hours, just to like focus on like bettering myself and lifting weights and getting stronger, you know. That's really important. With balance, of course.
Yeah. And why did you went to a counseling? Because some people they say, oh no, I don't want to go and I don't want to seek help. Why did you do that?
I guess for a while I thought like, oh, like I'm not that bad, like it's fine, like I don't really need it. But the more people I talked to were like, anyone can go to counseling and benefit from it. Even if like you're totally like you feel like you're fine, like everyone can benefit talking to someone and like developing those tools. And then I noticed like my anxiety getting really bad. I think it was like the end of like December last year. I just like had some things happen and like my social anxiety got pretty bad. And then I was just like doing worse than I had in a while. And I was like, okay, like I'm not feeling very good. I've like thought about going to counseling before. And I was like, I think this is the time now to like just try it. My family encouraged me to try it. I have some friends that have been through counseling and encouraged me to try it. And And so I finally did, and it was very helpful. And I felt like a lot better after. Like the counselor kind of like worked with me through some things, and then I haven't felt super anxious like I was last December for like a while. So yeah.
Okay. What trigger your social
anxiety? I think part of it was school. I was taking organic chemistry, which is not a fun class.
Oh, okay.
That was very hard. I was really busy with that, and academics are something that's very important to me because I want to go to vet school and become a veterinarian so bad, and you need really good grades to get in. It's my dream, and I'm like, I have to get these good grades so I can get in.
Okay.
So I was really stressed about that, about not getting the grade I wanted. And then I just had some things happen with certain people in my life that I just, I feel like I've had like friendships in the past where I've had some trust issues, and there was like a couple situations
trust issues.
Yeah. Okay. And it just kind of reminded me of some past trust things, and I just felt like kind of isolated and very much so like, can I trust anyone? It wasn't like nothing major happened. It just very minor things that kind of reminded me of stuff that had happened in the past. And I kind of was like, why am I like freaking out? This isn't even a big deal, but like, why do I feel so anxious? And then my counselor ended up telling me eventually, like, even if it's not something big that's happening right then, if you're feeling this way, your emotions are valid, like your feelings are valid no matter what. You don't have to be like, I don't deserve to feel this way, or I'm being dramatic,
like
it's like,
yourself.
Right, like it's like if you're feeling that way, you're feeling that way for a reason. So I think I just was like kind of reminding myself of some like friendships that had happened in the past, and just kind of stuff resurfacing from that, some like, family things, friendship things. So once I realized that and kind of the root of it, it helped me work through it more, I think.
So was your thoughts about the things that will happen that triggered?
What thoughts that triggered it? I guess I've had some like friendships and people in the past that have kind of just decided to just stop being friends with me one day, or just like stop talking to me. And it just made me kind of like question my self-worth a little bit, like, am I not, like going back to that quote I like, am I not worthy of love? Am I not worthy of like people sacrificing time for me? Like, am I not good enough? That's something that like I've like struggled with my whole life. Like, are my grades not good enough? Like, am I not good enough to be a good friend, to be a good partner to someone, Am I not good enough of a daughter? That's another thing. And so just kind of like having that happen. And then I've had some like, everyone struggles with things with their parents in the past, about like, like I've argued with like my mom about some things, and like we've like butted heads, and things have gotten better, but I definitely for a while felt like I wasn't, good enough, and I still sometimes feel like that. And so when there were other people in my life who like started like ignoring me, or like wouldn't have time for me, or just, didn't prioritize me, it triggered those feelings of like, okay, like you're not good, like those people in the past, you weren't good enough for them, and now you're not good enough for them now. So like, what are you doing wrong?
Okay.
And that's what I kind of worked through with counseling, kind of realizing that, why like my past was being brought up again, I guess. So once I realized that, and it wasn't like anyone's fault, it just I was taking the situations in my mind and like overanalyzing and like catastrophizing it, I think it's what it's called. And I could be saying it right. Yeah.
It's okay.
So that's what I think I was doing. But once I could recognize that, it got a little bit better. So.
And about relationships, what do you think now? Do you think now you are single for choice, or the men are changing, or what do you think about it?
Oh boy, I definitely.
Or you are waiting your prince?
Yes, I'm waiting. No, but I think for a while I was single for a very long period of time in my life, and I kind of was like, every girl in like high school was like, oh my gosh, like why does no one want to date me? All these things, and that's kind of was my attitude for a while. But then I got to the point where I was getting into the gym, I was building habits, building new friendships, and I became kind of a new person from who I was in high school. I have people from my high school who I'll see now, and they're like, you look so different now, you act so different. I never would have expected like you to be like so strong now or so different now, which makes me feel, very
less
good.
Shy.
Yeah, less shy, I think so. So I think I definitely am a different person than I was before, and I tell myself like, if I would have dated someone back then and then stayed with them, I wouldn't be the person I am today. So I was single for a very long period of my life. I got into a relationship. It didn't end up working out. Like, no hate to that person. Like, it just, like, you know, no hate, you know, things just didn't end up working out. Oh. And so that was kind of hard for a while. It's a little bit hard, but
always is hard. It's hard, yeah, I think.
But I just have to tell myself, you know, like, this just means like there's someone like better out there, you know, and I'm not gonna like, I don't need a guy, like I don't like, I don't need someone to complete me. I am like just okay by myself with like my friendships I have, with like, you know, everything else in life. So that just means I have more time to like work on myself, focus on my studies, you know, and goals, yeah. Yes. So it's like, it's not that I'm like, if the right opportunity presented itself, it's not like I'd be like, no, I don't want to date anyone, but I'm also content with being single. And I realized, although I really like I had a lot of fun in the relationship I was in, it was a very like nice relationship, like it was a lot of good things that were in that. There was a part of me that did miss being single, like not when I was in the relationship, but now that I am single again, I can be like, okay, like it's good. It's like I can find the benefit in being single and find the benefit in this period of my life that I'm in now, and not need to go find someone else, you know? I can just be okay with working out myself, so. In
the future, do you want to have a family, or do you think do you want to be a career woman?
Yeah, I think I want to focus on my career for sure, because again, like I've wanted to be a veterinarian for so long. It takes a lot of school, a lot of hard hours. I do want to get married someday for sure. I feel like that would be nice, you know. I'm not sure if I want kids yet. Right now, I'm kind of like leaning towards maybe not, but I would
pets.
Pets for sure, definitely. As a veterinarian, I'm gonna have lots of pets.
A lot of pets.
Yes, but I'm really not sure. Like I feel like I definitely could change my mind when I get older. Like maybe when I like finally get that goal of being a veterinarian, I'll be like, okay, like I do want to start a family, but I think it would be nice to get married one day, you know? Maybe have kids, maybe not, but it would be nice to get married. So if I don't end up getting married, like that's okay. Like I'll, you know, again, I'll just keep working on myself, I guess.
So if you need to choose dogs or babies?
Dogs. 100%. Like if I have to choose, like I love animals.
Okay.
And you know, kids are nice and like, but I'm like, maybe not for me. Maybe not for me.
I understand.
But who knows? Maybe when I get older, I'll change my mind. So I'm not gonna be like, oh no, never. Like maybe one day it could be different. Maybe if I meet the right person, you know, then maybe that would make me want to, you know. So I'm leaving that option open, I guess. But way down the road. Like anytime soon.
In the future.
In the future, like way out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the corner.
Yeah, like you know, just over there.
And you told me that you go to the gym, and I always see you there.
Yes.
And you are a great motivation for me too, because you always are there. Like you always are going to do a lot of exercise, very focused. I know that you are like doing your maximum there.
Yes.
So why do you do that? Why?
Like the gym in general?
Yeah, the gym.
Well, first of all, you also inspired me, girl. You are so strong and you're always showing up. So I feel like, I guess we just inspire each other.
I don't know. She has an onion here. 2 onions in her shoulder.
What can I say?
So
if you want onion shoulders, do lateral raises. Those are the best.
Yeah, they are the best.
The delts for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess it started off with like the gym, like somewhere to like fill my space and like kind of like, again, like clear my anxieties a little bit, go somewhere to like be able to work on something. And now it just becomes something like a goal to work for. It's also, I feel like, helped my relationship with food. Now I see food more as like, it's like food is fuel now, you know? It's not like I have to like, you know, I obviously want to be healthy, but I don't need to like pressure myself or like be hateful to myself if I don't eat right or don't eat a certain thing. It's like, no, like whatever I'm eating like that is fueling my body to like move and like run, and like I shouldn't be eating less. I should be, you know, eating more protein, like eating more things that like make me stronger and be able to lift more. And so that's why I definitely like weightlifting, because I feel like the emphasis is more on like being stronger, and like I guess being like fit and skinny could be a part of it for some people, but it's also like my main goal is just to like be stronger and like work on myself and show up every time and maybe be able to like lift a little bit more weight or like, you know, do more reps this time, and just that progressive overload. That is what I really like, and I like just being able to like work on myself and like show up and be better every time.
Like you said, for a lot of people, they get confidence from the gym.
Yes.
For me too.
Yes, definitely.
But do you have a why that keeps you in the track? Because sometimes we don't have. I think you felt. I think sometimes that you don't want to go to the gym.
Yeah.
And what do you do?
That's true.
To continue. I don't know.
One thing that I've heard, I don't know who said it first, but it's like if you want to show up to the gym, it's discipline, not motivation, that's going to get you to stay consistent. Because you know, motivation is good. You can be like, oh, I want to get stronger, be more fit. I want to go work out with this person. Like I'm wearing a cute outfit today. Like that's motivation. But it's the days that you show up when you're like, man, I'm really like tired. It's also going to take rest. You know, you shouldn't go if you've got only 2 hours of sleep. But like the days where it's like, oh, I really could just take a nap right now, or like, you know, do this. I don't really feel like going. But the days where you're like, you know what, I'm disciplined. I'm making this routine. I'm going to show up anyway. Those are the days it's really going to make a difference and like really make you make progress and kind of like separate you from like the rest of the people that are just like, oh, I just go to the gym when I want, versus like, no, like I'm committed, I'm bettering myself, I am disciplined. And that is something that I have really, I guess, focused on, because now it's just such a big part of my routine. And I love going to the gym. It's like my favorite part of the day, you know?
When you began, was your favorite thing?
When did the joy for the gym start, I guess? So I started off working out, well, I guess at school I kind of would go to like the Lamson girls gym for a while. And I kind of would just like do ab workouts sometimes, or like do a couple bicep curls, like not really know what I was doing. But I started working out like weightlifting, like squats, like lifting heavy in the gym with my friend Bailey one summer. She lives in Tennessee. Bailey, if you're watching this, I love you. She was my first gym buddy. And I was working a job that I really didn't like during the summer, and I was like back home after being in Michigan for a while. And that summer I hung out a lot with Bailey, and just I feel like our friendship got a lot closer, and we both were beginners to the gym. We wanted to like work on ourselves and get better. So my favorite part of the day was definitely seeing Bailey and going to the gym. And then even though my job wasn't super fun, it's like, oh, I get to go to the gym and be with Bailey first of all, and then also just like work on myself and get stronger. And that's when I really fell in love with the gym, and I was like, no, like I want to keep doing this, like I love doing this. And then one of my best friends here, Sam, she's my other workout buddy, that when I came back to Andrews, I found her and we became friends like maybe like a year and a half ago. I can't remember the exact time, and now we go to the gym all the time together, or we did more when our schedules were more aligned. But so like having people like Bailey and people like Sam that are like there to like motivate me and keep going with me, that helped me like start falling in love with the gym. But now it's like, even if I go by myself, if it's 5:30 in the morning, I like drink a Celsius, I'm like not wanting to be there. Like once I like get into it and start like building my strength, and I get into the zone, I'm like, I just love it, you know? So
the feeling of being there is your motivation.
It is.
Even if you don't want to go, you remember that feeling.
Yes, I remember that feeling. And then there are definitely days where not feeling the gym, you know, if I'm just like the anxiety is just overpowering anything in the gym, or if I'm like my lifts are going down, if I start failing my warm-ups on squats, I'm like, I should not be failing this right now. But I do, it's definitely discouraging. And I'm like, I guess I could like take a little bit of the joy away from the gym, but it also just motivates me. It's like, no, that can't be like my last time coming to the gym. I have to go again and get better. If I'm messing up today, I'm gonna show up tomorrow and do better, you know? So even on the days where it's not a good gym day, it kind of motivates me in the opposite way. It's like, even though it wasn't super fun or I didn't have a lot of joy today, I'm gonna show up to be better next time. So I show up to have fun and like be with people sometimes, but also just I show up to be better. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna accept failure. I'm gonna keep going and be better than I was last time, even if the last gym session was very bad, because sometimes you have bad gym sessions, for sure. But
why do you want to be better? Because you can say, oh, I am good now. I have those big onions here.
Yeah, the onions, like that's all I need.
These quads, and I am good now. Why do you want to be better?
I feel like a lot of people that go to the gym kind of fall into like that like cycle of like, oh, I can always be better, and not being content with yourself in the moment. But I think it's important to be content with yourself, especially in the way you look, but you can do that and still like want to improve, you know? I feel like I always want to be stronger, and you always can be stronger, and it can be kind of tempting sometimes to be like, oh, like I just, you know, I don't look, you know, my legs aren't as big as I want them to be, like I don't look as toned as I want to be. But whenever I start thinking like that, I look back at like old pictures of myself with like my skinny little legs and my noodle arms. Okay. And I'm like, you know what? I've made a lot of progress, and I've come a long ways. And it's like I can be content with how I am now and been like, wow, like I've come so far. But also it's like if I've come this far, like imagine how much further I can go after that, you know? Okay. So I don't know. But it is hard to like not be critical of yourself when you're like trying to be better and building yourself, and then it's important to remember to just be content with yourself. Like no matter what stage your body is in, if you're bulking, if you're cutting, if you're like not as strong as you were before, it's like just be content and be like, hey, I'm showing up and getting stronger, and showing up is half the battle, you know? So as long as you're showing up and trying your best, then that's all you can really ask for. So
yeah, because it's hard to try your best when, I don't know, you are not motivated.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
I don't know, sometimes people go and say, oh yeah, I want to be better, but how?
Yeah.
How can I do better?
It's hard, and especially when you go through those phases of, again, you're not motivated, you don't want to be there, but you just have to keep showing up and just keep going, even if it's like, I feel like I'm not making progress, I feel like I'm losing my strength. You just keep showing up, and then one day you can look back and be like, you know what, I did get better, I did make progress. And again, even if you're not motivated, having the discipline to keep showing up, that's is what's really gonna like, you know, make the big difference. And again, separate the people from who, kind of try in the gym versus people who are gonna really make progress and really like build a lifestyle that's gonna be helpful for them in the long term.
Because this is for life.
Yes.
Getting, if you want to do better every day, every time, this is for life. So, what drives you to keep this a lifestyle?
I guess kind of being like, I have so much, if I can work on this my whole life, I can get so much stronger. Like if I've been working out for like 2 years and made this much progress, imagine if I keep working out for like 30 or 40 more years, you know? And it's like you can make so much more progress. And I guess for me, I'm always like, I always want to improve. I never want to like peak in life. I want to always like keep going, because I know like a lot of people like can say like, oh, someone like, you know, they peaked in high school, you know, they like were super like athletic or popular in high school, and they get to college and just kind of like fall off. And like, I never want to peak in life, you know, get to the top and be like, well, that was it, you know.
Okay.
I hit 225 on deadlifts, you know, I hit a plate on bench, and like that's it. I'm just gonna like not try anymore. I always want to just be better, and it kind of, I guess, maybe it's driven a little bit by fear of like, I'm scared of like reaching like the highest point of my progress, and then, you know, being like, that's it, you can't get any better. So I'm like, if I keep showing up and I keep working, then I will keep getting better, you know. I'm, you know, plugging it into the equation, like as long as I keep showing up, you know. But I don't know, because I don't want to peak. I don't want to ever like not be able to get better, not be able to work on myself.
Do you think that this thought, maybe it's linked with something in the past, in your childhood too?
Yeah.
Just to, I don't know, I want to be better because I don't want people say that I am not worthy.
Yeah,
or
definitely.
Something like that. I don't know.
Definitely. Like I've always had this fear, which I'm sure a lot of people do too, like that I am not good enough. I'm not like strong enough. I know in high school I was very skinny, you know, and I should have just like accepted myself for how I was and like not let people get to me, but like I had people just be like, oh, like, you're so bony, you're so skinny. Like, I had a guy I liked.
They bullied you sometimes?
A little bit. But it was like, oh, but like, I think a lot of times, like, if you're like skinny, people are like, oh, you're so skinny. It's like, people don't acknowledge that can be bullying.
Yeah, yeah.
And some people, I don't think meant to. They just maybe had their own insecurities, but yeah. And there was one guy I liked that even was like, oh my gosh, like, your arms are so small. And it's like, yeah. And I just was like, wow. I was definitely known for being like the like small, very petite, very skinny, nerdy girl in high school, you know, who was quiet, didn't really talk to anyone. And I just got sick of it, and I was like, I do not like this. I don't want to be like, you know, it wasn't even just like being skinny is fine, but it's like people, I mean, it was like, oh, you have no muscle, you have like no like anything. And so I was like, you know what, like I want to have big arms. I want to like, you know, have really nice quads. I'm trying, you know? And I think a lot of times I still look in the mirror and I still see that really skinny, very small, weak girl in high school, and I just keep telling myself like, you've made so much progress, like you're not her anymore, you know? But it's like, there's still that voice that's always gonna tell me like, you're not good enough, like you're skinny, everyone's like looking at you and being like, she's not strong, she can't do these things. So it's just like a constant battle to remind myself like, no, like you've made so much progress, like you're not who you were in high school anymore, you know? And I've gained confidence now, I've gained a little bit of muscle now, you know? A little bit.
A little bit, just I don't know.
But yeah.
It's bad that today it's cold, because if it doesn't, you guys will see.
See the muscles. It's okay. Just come to the gym and then you can see both of us showing off our muscles, you know? But yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I think it's hard because I don't know, in your childhood, do you have these thoughts because you have traits? No, traits, yeah?
Like character traits?
Yeah,
maybe?
character traits from your father or mother. What do you know, or did you did you think that you have something like that from both your parents, or what happened that you got shy? I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. I know with my mom is like a great person. I love her. She like has done so much to provide for like me and my family. Like she'll like stand up for me all the time. Like I really appreciate her in my life. She definitely like she loves to talk, and definitely like when we were kids, like she would do a lot of the talking like for me, I feel like, which is nice. Like she's being protective, but I feel like that may be what made me a little bit more shy, is that it's like I kind of let like my mom or other more extroverted friends kind of like talk for me and kind of like be my voice in a way, you know? And that made me more shy. And then also just like kind of like the pressures of like, you know, I feel like whether it's like at home from my parents or like at school, I feel like, you know, society kind of has like a box for you of it's like, for my mom, it was like, oh, you need to like get good grades, which I also wanted to, you know, it's like you need to like be ladylike, you need to like, you know, not have a messy room, you need to like dress a certain way, not wear jewelry, all these things. And I just feel like for a while I didn't fit in that box. Like I wasn't like, I was never enough to like, at least how I felt, like I was never enough to fit in that box or be what someone else wanted for me, you know? And then that was like really hard. And then I feel like I kind of just, that's why I was so shy for a while maybe, because I was like, oh, like what I have to say isn't important. I just have to, I was good at school, right? And I was like, well, I'm good at this. If I just focus on getting good grades, that's something I can control, something I can be good at. So I'll just do that. I don't have to worry about like, you know, doing anything else or like talking to other people, like making friends as much. I had some friends in high school. Like I don't want to be like, oh, I was always alone, but my priority was school, because I think it was something that I could control and something I could be like, I'm good at this. Like if I'm not good enough, if I'm not strong enough, if I'm not like pretty enough, all these other things, at least I can have school and like be really good at school, you know? And so that for a while was like my thing. And then I came to college and there was a lot smarter people, and it no longer was like it still is my thing. It's still something that I'm very passionate about and I want to get good grades. But when I came to college, I was like, wow, like I'm not always going to get the grades I want. I'm not always going to be the smartest person in the room. Definitely not the smartest person in the room. Any of the time at college, there's a lot of smart people here, which I just kind of had to like accept and be fine with. And it was hard for a while, especially freshman year, because it's like, well, if I don't have school, if I can't control that anymore, like what can I control, you know? And so now the gym is something for me that it's like I can control, I can show up, be there for myself. So that's been good, but yeah, definitely like some struggles with my mom for sure have led to kind of like my feelings of like anxiety or not being good enough. And then I had a lot of like broken friendships in high school that we were like best friends, super close. And then like there were two people that just like separate times to just like stop talking to me and just kind of cut me out of their life. And it was in like middle school, you know, middle school, like things happen, you know, but so, you know, I don't know what they were thinking, but it was really hurtful to me, you know? And then in high school, I was in a group of like 3 friends, and then there was like a falling out and I wasn't friends with either of them anymore, and we went from being like best friends, telling each other everything, and then it's like I had no one for a while. And so that definitely like, and I was like, it was hard, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, if my best friends can like almost betray me in a way, not that, I mean, I wasn't perfect either. I probably did things to hurt them too, you know? But if I'm like, if, you know, I'm not good enough for my friends, if I'm not good enough for my parents, if I'm not good enough for school, it's like, then like, my trust was really broken. I feel like it still is broken in a lot of the relationships that I do have or had. And then it's like, it's hard for me to feel like that I am good enough, or it's hard for me to be like, I like to think of the most negative situation. Like, I like to like look at people's reactions and be like, oh, well, they must hate me, you know, or they must like, you know, not do these things. And it's just, it's like hard to like, I have to keep reminding myself like, no, like you need to be more like positive. Like you need to like work on trusting people more, but it's definitely still hard for me to trust people. So, yeah.
Do you think that not trusting people, they feel and they don't want to trust you, or
yeah,
I don't know, they
that's
can't,
a good point.
Because sometimes we your phrase, that your quote is, how is your quote? I can say it in English. I say it in Portuguese, but in English.
We accept the love that we think we deserve.
Yeah, that is the we have this vibe that if we don't trust anyone, that people, they don't want to be our friends or love us if we if you don't love you. How they can love you?
That's true.
So this is the point I am trying to get. I don't know.
Right. I guess I don't know if this is what you're asking, but I mean, to have like a successful relationship with someone, whether it's like a friend or a partner, it's like, of course you need to like be confident in yourself and love yourself, but you also do need to trust. Like you can't like not trust anyone, expect them to just trust you, you know? It's like, it goes both ways. So you have to like be confident. Ooh, be. Yeah, I was like distracted. You have to be like confident in yourself and be like, I am worthy of like receiving love, but also like you do have to kind of like take that leap and just trust sometimes and be vulnerable, because it's like, if you're not vulnerable and like you just like guard your heart, I like to like, you know, since I have those trust issues, I like to guard my heart a lot, you know? But it's like, this is also something that I learned in counseling. It's like, well, if you never like put yourself out there and you never try to like love someone, you never try to trust someone, it's like, then what's the point in living almost, you know? It's like you have to be vulnerable to have the most meaningful experiences in life. Like to love someone, to like laugh with someone, to cry with someone, taking risks. You have to take risks to like to have a meaningful life, at least in my opinion. People may disagree, but so you have to trust. And that's something I've been, you know, working on and trying to work on, but it's definitely hard to trust for me, for sure. But that's the goal, you know, because you're right.
For everyone,
you can't expect someone to trust you if you don't trust them, you know. It's a two-way street. But
and do you think you were always, because I see that you want to be better at the gym, and you were always like this, and in your childhood, like always want to be better in all the areas? I feel like not so much. I feel like for school, like yes, I always wanted to be better, get good grades. But you know, I played some like sports in like high school and middle school. I played soccer. I really loved soccer. I really loved softball. But I kind of for a while would like, because I felt like I was bad at softball especially, I really liked soccer. I ended up being better at soccer like my 8th grade year. So that was like, I definitely tried my best to like be good and get better. But for softball, there were a lot of kids that like spent more time with it, and I felt like I wasn't good enough for softball for a while, and I kind of like almost ruined the fun, kind of took the fun out of it a little bit, because I was like, well, I'm not good, like I'm like the worst player here, like I can't get better. And for a while I kind of like let that control, like I guess I was like, well, I'm bad, so I can't get better. And I feel like my mindset really shifted. Like when I got to college, started going to the gym, it's like, no, like that's no excuse. You can work on it, you know? So do you think that here in the college, your mindset
I think it did. I really think it did. Because school is also harder, you know? I didn't get the grade I wanted freshman year in biology. I didn't get the grade I wanted, and it was really hard for a while. I went through like a really low mental point of me being like, oh, well, I'm not even good enough at school, which is one thing I had. But then that's when I feel like my mindset shifted, and I was like, you know what? I can work harder. I can do better, you know? I'm not going to be like, well, I wasn't good at it. It wasn't easy. Like in softball, I was like, well, I'm bad, so I'm not going to try any harder. But now I'm like, no, like, that's no excuse. I'm going to try harder. I'm going to, like, work my butt off to get the grades I want. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to show up. I'm going to do hard things, you know? Because it's like if you just stay in your comfort zone and you never, like, try to get better and improve, and you just stay in that mindset of, like, oh, well, I guess I couldn't do it, then you're not gonna grow.
You put it in your efforts.
Yes, yes.
And not in your personality.
Exactly.
For example.
Yeah. I feel like another like phrase I really like is like, I may not always be the smartest person in the room or like the prettiest person in the room, the strongest person in the room, but I'm always going to be the hardest worker in the room. And it's like that's I feel like a good mindset, you know? It's like as long as you're showing up and working, like that's all you can do, and you can do more than you think you can. So
if you want,
yes, you got to work for it.
If you want,
yes,
yeah, you can do it.
Yeah.
So about these hardships, what is the worst thing that happened in your life?
Oh boy! Oh my goodness!
The worst one that you remember? I don't know. Maybe it was the family, friends, or academics.
Yeah. Ooh.
I don't know.
I know. I definitely have had
illness.
I've definitely had a very blessed life. There hasn't been anything super traumatic happen in my life. I mean, the hardest thing. Oh, geez. I feel like the thing that has probably definitely my relationship with my mom. Although, like, I love her and like things have gotten a lot better. When I first was like towards the end of high school versus going to college, things were really hard for a while, and it just was like a lot of arguments, a lot of like, I don't know, just she wants me to be better, and I feel like she also is probably responsible for my like willingness to like work hard and be better and do better because she wants better for me, which is a good thing, and it's like instilled those habits in me. But it also can be a lot of pressure sometimes, and like if you feel like you can't live up to that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
expectations.
Yes, expectations for sure. And again, like there's positive and negatives. Like positives, like now I want to work hard and keep being better, keep doing more. But also it's like I can also be very critical of myself. So I feel like just, I guess, the hardest thing is not really one situation, but just more like the idea of like not living up to expectations and then not being good enough for it, whether it's like my mom or my friends or my relationship. It's like if I'm not enough, I'm always worried about like I'm not fitting into this box. I'm not fitting into like their expectations of what they want. I can never be enough. That definitely, even though it's not one situation, it's like an idea throughout my life that keeps coming back, I'd say. That just has, I think, really probably affected me the most. So.
And what are these expectations? What is this box?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess it depends, like, what person. Like, I know, like, for my mom, it's like, like, it's like the box is like, get good grades, be very neat, be polite, be very ladylike, you know, dress in a certain way, act in a certain way, like, do all these things, you know.
Do you think your generation and her generation, they have, like, a conflict?
Definitely so. I feel like, especially coming from, like, a conservative Christian family, like, even though I am Christian, I definitely have set different standards for myself, and my parents have also like been more flexible as I've gotten older and become more understanding of things. But I definitely, like, for a while, like, again, I felt like my mom's expectations for like how to keep my room clean or how to do things, it just like no matter how hard I worked at it or try, I would always forget to do this one thing or like forget to do this, and it's just like it was never enough. And part of it was like, you know, I was a teenager, and it's like, you know, I probably could have done some things better. You know, I'm not a perfect child for sure by any means, but I don't know. So that was that expectation, and then it's like I feel like there have been other people in my life who it's like they want me to be a different person who I'm never gonna be, or whether it's like, again, like they want me to be like a specific person that was like in their life in the past. That reminds me of how, like, my mom wanted me to be a person I can never be. Or, like, if a friend is, like, they want you to be someone who's, like, you know, really cool or popular, all these things. And it's, like, if I'm just not that, or if I'm not super, like, outgoing or not a certain way, I guess there's different boxes for different people. And it's like you can obviously never fit in everyone's box. Like your mom has a box, your friend has a box, your boyfriend has a box. And it's like it's very frustrating when you try to live your life trying to fit in those boxes because you can't fit in all of them, number one. Secondly, you shouldn't ever force yourself to be different if you're not going to like be happier that way, you know? So I think just learning that I'm not going to fit in anyone's box, and if someone doesn't accept that, then to be like, okay, well, goodbye, you know? Literally. Like if that's all you can do, you know? So, and then that also goes back to my quote, you know, it's like you accept the love you think you deserve. If you think you deserve to be like treated like someone's trying to cram you into a box you're not going to fit in, or someone's not respecting you or loving you for who you are, it's like you need to realize like, no, I deserve more. And that's when you can be like, you know what, I'm not going to be with someone or, you know, interact with someone who's going to like try to put me in a box that I don't fit in. So
and how do you build your confidence now? Because when was the day that you said, oh, I want to change and I don't want to fit in those boxes anymore?
That's true. It definitely wasn't a one day thing. It's kind of like over time I've like built habits that have slowly helped me, and then now looking back I can be like, oh, I see how I've changed, or I see how I can change in the future. But it wasn't really one specific moment, just like, again, building habits, like whether it's like eating healthier or like going to the gym or getting out of your comfort zone. Like I'm going to talk to this person. I'm going to like, you know, to like help my social anxiety, right? It's like if I'm going to talk to this person, I'm going to like go to this event, I'm going to do these things. And it's just like slowly challenging yourself and working on things over time. Even if it's just not one event, you'll kind of you're doing all of these things about working on yourself. One day you'll be like, okay, like I am more confident. I go to the gym now. I have these friends now. I feel confident in my school, like my schoolwork and everything. And then even if it's not one specific thing, it's like one day, like if you put in the work, even if you like, it's not showing progress immediately, you're going to look back and see, yeah, like it made a difference.
And when you realize that you were just so like, oh, I want to fit in those boxes.
Yeah. I think in high school when my mom and I started having kind of like the issues was when I was like, I don't fit in this box, and I felt not respected in a way, or like by certain friends. Once I kind of come to the realization of like, oh, like they're not treating me in the way they should, or they're expecting me to be different than I am. Like it wasn't really one situation, just kind of like for every person that I've like either, like with my mom, my relationship has gotten better with her, like we've ended up fixing it. With some people, I just have had to cut them out of my life because I'm like, no, like you didn't respect me, and like you're not going to respect me, so I'm like, there's no point in continuing this friendship or this other thing if you're not going to respect me. So I guess it just depends on like which person it was with, but once I realized that I deserve more, or I deserve to be respected, that's when it's like, okay, something needs to change. You either need to talk to someone and like you know, communicate your problems and then compromise, and then but if they don't do that and they're not willing to talk, then you cut them out of your life, you know, because there's you don't need to waste your energy on someone who's not going to respect you.
And what do you think about if just it's not happening now, but if someone in your family does this, how you can cut a family?
It definitely is different.
This happens a lot, I think, with everyone.
Right.
Always one family has.
Yes,
I don't
they
know.
have family troubles for sure. It definitely is different with your family, and luckily I'm blessed enough to have not been in an abusive relationship with anyone in my family. Like again, I've come from a very like blessed life. Although my mom and I have had our disagreements, like if someone is ever in like an abusive relationship, whether it be like emotional, physical, anything like that, then obviously it's like you have to cut them off, even if like they are your family, or if it's hard, you know. But if it's something you can like work on, and someone is willing to work, like with my mom, we've both compromised and worked on things, then it's obviously not an abusive relationship. And then it's like, okay, like, you know, you can work on things. But it's hard when it is your family, you know. But if it's something where it's like you can be patient and willing to work on it, and it's not something you need to cut out of your life immediately, then it's like you just work overtime or take space, you know? I think taking space is really important.
Yeah, taking space.
Like when I came to college, like 9 hours away, you know, in Michigan, that was a lot of space for my mom and my family, and I feel like that really helped things. Because it helps you like appreciate the things that you really love about that person more, and also just it gives everyone their space to like cool down and not be angry, and then realize, hey, like I want to work on this relationship, I want to build this relationship. And again, my mom and I's relationship has gone a lot better. So it just depends on if both people are willing to work, because again, it takes two people to trust. It takes two people to work on a relationship and build a relationship and be in a relationship. Whether it's your mom or your brother or your friend or your partner, you know, it takes two. So
it takes two.
Yes.
I remember one game that they have this name.
Oh,
it takes two.
And like it's like a video game? Or?
Yeah, very good. It's similar that you are talking about.
Okay, we should play it.
Yeah, I will
Next
show
video,
you.
no, just kidding.
Streaming.
Yes.
Okay.
Hop on Discord, you know.
And do you think being apart a little bit helps your confidence and seeing all the view of the relationship with the other one?
Right. I think it does, because I think, like, you know, if you can take time apart and be like, okay, like, I miss this person, want to work on it with someone. If it's your family, obviously you want to work on it at least most of the time, you know? And again, gives you time to cool down. But if you go on a break with someone and then you realize they didn't appreciate me, they didn't like respect me, and they're not making initiative to like fix this relationship or like fix these things or like appreciate you, I feel like a break in the past for me that I've like taken with someone has definitely made me realize like they're not going to respect me. And like taking the time apart, I'm like, I can think about what they did and just say like, you know what, they didn't respect me. And if they're not going to respect me and they're gonna be okay with like how things are right now and let me take this break, it's like then I don't need to be with them, you know? So I feel like a break can either make you realize like things can work out and you want to work on this, or no, I deserve more. So that time apart is like, it really helps you figure out which way it could go. And it can be really hard either way. It's hard if you lose a friendship or you break up with someone, you know, but it's also hard to fix a friendship and fix a relationship. Like life is going to be hard, so you have to just choose your heart, you know? Are you going to work on a relationship and like be better? Or are you going to like lose that, even if like you love someone, even if, you know, it's really hard, are you going to lose that so you can find better, you know?
You always sacrifice something.
Exactly.
Whatever you choose, you always sacrifice
something, so.
And about habits, what do you think? Do you think that you have one deep habit that do you want to
like a bad habit?
Yeah, like bad habit or not bad habit, like or obstacle or trauma or something that it's a burden, burden. So you are like, oh, I need to get rid of this because this is so annoying.
That is true. There's probably a lot of habits like that I can work on. How much time do we have? No, I'm just kidding. But I feel like the main one, and the one we talked about today for sure, is like learning to trust people and like being vulnerable with people. That's definitely something I need to work on, is trusting people and being okay with that more, because it's hard for me. And it's like, but it's also, it's like, again, what we talked about, like you can't like build a relationship or be with someone or expect trust or love in return if you can't trust someone else. So that's definitely a burden for me that I've struggled with my whole life that I definitely need to work on, is just trust, you know? So I would pick that one.
Okay, so what is the opposite of trust?
Trust?
Like
I guess like
trust?
Like doubt,
Doubt, okay.
Doubt or like insecurity, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know. There's probably a better word that I just can't think of right now. But
no, it's good. And what is the good habit that you want to introduce in your life?
A good habit? Man, let me think. I mean, I guess could it be like related to the gym? Because I already go to the gym, but I guess a habit I want to get better at the gym is like being able to like lift heavier and increase my weight. Because I'm always like, I'm like always trying to go for that, but like especially this year, it's like it's my senior year. I want to like, you know, hit some personal records, hit some PRs, you know.
Okay.
And I kind of had like some health issues this summer that have like kind of driven my numbers down a little bit, you know? So I kind of want to just like focus on like really dedicating time to like, I guess doing more of like a powerlifting, like getting my like weight up more in the gym and build that habit, because it's very discouraging to have like lost some of that strength and having to build that up again. It's something I'm gonna need to work on and like not get frustrated with. So I guess I should like set some specific goals for like how much weight I want to hit, but just overall just focus on more weight in the gym. So.
And how this illness, no, how this illness,
it's how it's affecting
your...
So I got diagnosed with, they're pretty sure it's PCOS. It's like polycystic ovary syndrome. And basically it's like an endocrine hormone imbalance. And so I'm taking this medication right now that's supposed to like help my hormones, obviously. But one hormone that's very good for the gym is testosterone. So that's how, and I have like very high levels of that in my blood because of like the issues I have with like the PCOS. And so, but that's not very good for women's health in the long term. So they're wanting to like cancel that out and kind of like balance those hormones. But because of that, I've definitely lost some like strength in the gym. I don't know if it's like, is this a temporary setback getting used to it, or is this just how it's gonna be now? So that has definitely been very discouraging if it's like, well, I need to like advocate for my health and like be healthier and balance those hormones, but also it's like the gym is something I love so much, and again, it's something I can control and be good at, and it's like, so I guess my goal will be like working through my new endocrine disorder thing, and then also lifting more weight and finding a way to be like happy with both things, you know? Balancing my hormones and being healthier, but also still being super strong and hitting PRs in the gym, so.
And why do you want to be so strong? Because if we look skinny and shredded, it's...
I don't know.
Nice.
I feel like
I don't know.
I want to be like even stronger. Like I see...
What is your goal?
My goal, there's some girls on Instagram that I follow that are just like, that have like really nice quads or like, you know, like really like nice backs, you know? I follow a couple of girls like that. That's like, I never want to like, obviously you can't like become and like look like someone, but it's like, I definitely want to be stronger and be able to like hit some more weight, you know? So I definitely, I don't know, I guess I just, it also comes from like being called the little skinny kid in high school who like couldn't do anything.
So you want to be the opposite.
Exactly. Because there's always that voice telling me like, oh, you're too skinny, you're too weak, and I'm like, I just need to keep getting bigger and stronger. So I feel like that's why I'm trying to like not become who I was in middle school and high school. I want to like, she's in the past, you know, I want to keep getting stronger and keep getting bigger, so.
So just reminding, do you want to get rid of
trust issues, I guess?
Trust issues. And you want to introduce balancing your strength with your illness now.
Yes.
So, okay.
Yes.
Okay. So we are going to do the challenge. The challenge is this. We are going to run 5K. So thank you for accepting this conversation, because it was really good. I like it a lot. Thank you for sharing your experiences.
Of course.
And now let's go to the challenge.
Oh, I'm scared.
Okay. Well, let's go.
All right. Oh boy. I am not good at running, so we'll see how this goes, I guess. But, oh man.